Welcome to Module 1, Raising the Bar. We want to visit a couple of ideas. One of them is that we must reach students in ways that matter to them, because how we approach them will affect how well they are able to think critically. But we also want to talk about expectations, because what we expect can influence the results we get from students. Let's get started by listening to Professor Manny Lorenas as he explains something he does to address expectations.
It's been said that students will rise to our expectations, and I think most of us believe it's true. But what do we expect? And what do our students expect of themselves? Well, there's a fun way to demonstrate that what we think we can do will affect what we do, and I usually do this with students on the first day. We also did this in our live workshops back in 2012. So here's what I do. Using teams of 2 or 3, each group gets 1 eyedropper, 1 small cup of water, and 1 penny. Groups are then asked to predict how many drops of water they believe they can squeeze onto that penny before it spills over. Most students, and even faculty and staff, predict a number less than 10. The group elects one person to squeeze 1 drop at a time onto the penny while someone else counts the drops. Most often, first attempts are about 20 to 30 drops of water, some even higher, but almost all results are far more than predicted. And then, once they see what is possible, I let them try it again. The second time, they're always more focused on the task and more intentional about success.
We see at least 3 takeaways from Manny's story. First, what about us? As educators, do we expect too little? Do we expect too much? Are we making assumptions about what our students can and can't do? We really need to give this some thought, because what we expect of students and how we make them aware of their ability to meet those expectations contributes to their success.
Second, are we aware of our own thinking? How much do we know about the task of getting students to develop and apply critical thinking skills? How focused and intentional are we in trying to help them? We should learn what we can about helping students, but we may also benefit by learning about our own disposition towards thinking critically. Think Watson is one company that offers a free thinking style inventory and discusses the different ways we approach thinking. Their website is listed in your workbook, and we encourage you to investigate this and learn more.
Finally, how much do we know about how students learn, especially given the new generation of learners that enroll in our college courses today? Are we familiar with learning style models such as format? For example, a type 1 learner in the format model likes to talk things out to learn. What might she be thinking about during the lecture if the professor is the only one who talks in the classroom? And what about the younger student whose world is completely networked and infused with social media? How will he think through content that we may have learned through reading books? If we want students to learn to think critically, then we must give them opportunities to do so. We can only provide such opportunities if we take the time to know how they learn. Resources to do this are provided in your workbook.
So what's next? How can these ideas be helpful to you? To put the pieces together, we encourage you to consider the content of the workbook. Learn more about how the water and penny experiment can help your students meet higher expectations. Learn more about thinking styles. Find out what yours is and how that may help or hinder your own critical thinking. Learn more about learning styles and characteristics of today's learners that will affect the interactions you have with them.
If you're a Palm Beach State College employee and just accessed this video from the QEP webpage, and if you'd like to collaborate with others about this content or are interested in documenting your progress through the modules, we encourage you to enroll in the Blackboard workshop. You'll have the same access to the modules and workbook and can move through the content at your convenience and have access to any recommended links. And you'll have a record of your completion. If you're interested, just contact our QEP manager at the number or email on your screen.
This concludes Module 1, Raising the Bar. We're glad you joined us and hope you'll keep the conversation going.